everyone, and welcome back to our 6th vlog. I'm Louisa.
I'm Kim. And I'm Laura. And we are on our way to an interview with Klaas Fleischmann, who is not only a teacher at the HU, but also the author of the new book, Customer-Centered Signaling, in which he talks about how pipeline management, which is a traditional marketing strategy, becomes more and more useless, and how marketers have to adjust to this new customer revolution.
And it's going to be super interesting to hear from a real-life marketer what trends might change our consumer behavior. Let's go.
The first and most important trend is that I think consumers are getting more and more concerned about the data overload and the amount of news and fake news and all kind of information that is being dropped on us every day. So I think the most important trend here is that people really need good and trustworthy signals, and are looking for trustworthy signals to find their way through the digital world. Google is a good example as a brand that really understands this trend, because they have Google Assistants, you know, the machines, the things that help you finding restaurants. You can put them in your house and you can actually ask them questions and they find stuff for you. Obviously Google has a reason for this, because they want to sell that product. However, I think there's a truth behind it, because you need good signals, trustworthy signals, and so basically customers are looking for signals that help them through this digital world. Also, Google is still looking at, or is still trying to cling on to that belief of a funnel, because if you look at Google Analytics, it's all about funneling as well. On the backside of their website, in their own web shop, for example, it's a funnel. There is a theory, persuasion knowledge theory, which clearly states if people know they're being influenced, they don't react to certain stimuli.
When Mr. Fleischmann explained this concept, I immediately remembered the situation from last week. I went to the city center in order to buy a new lipstick, and when I approached the store, the seller immediately came to me, giving me so many information I did not ask for. She was overloading me and clearly trying to force me into buying something, and I felt uncomfortable, and it ended up in the contrary. I just left the store.
And I noticed that by scrolling through my Instagram page, I find certain products just by coincidence, like for example these sunglasses. So the marketers managed to find the perfect touch point and send the right signals. So I bought the sunglasses. And Mr. Fleischmann also talked about how social media plays a role in this trend.
I think social media basically was a technological element in this, because we have so many more channels now than we had like 20 years ago. So that means that we have this data overload, and we have this multiple area of channels people are on a daily basis looking at. So they're looking for the right information on all these channels. So it really needs to be clear that these channels are touch points for customers, and these touch points, on every one of these touch points, the brand is being evaluated, and that can be in different ways. And the combination of the evaluation of the brand on these different touch points will actually make the customer decide if he or she wants to actually engage with that brand.
I get lots of information from different brands regarding all kinds of products, and I also don't know which ones of them are trustworthy and which aren't. So therefore, I really like their brand ASOS, which provide me with a newsletter every month, and for which I sign up, and they specifically target my interests and therefore build a personal connection. Also, Mr. Fleischmann referred to how marketers can deal with this trend.
And I think that's what really companies or brands have to change. They have to get rid of that funnel or pipeline management idea, start managing their touch points, and they have to, create an optimal customer experience. All right, as I call it in my book, optimal dynamic customer experience.
So we learned today that through data overload, we have access to more information than ever before, but we don't necessarily know which ones to trust. But we also have more knowledge and become skeptical about what marketers try to sell us.
Right, and through this shift of power, marketers have to communicate more responsible.
Yeah.
And they also have to take our interests as customers into account.
I just think it's super interesting, especially for us as marketing students, because we're about to enter this new industry. And regarding this trend, we know now that becoming a traditional salesperson, for example, might not be a very solid career path due to this change. And it's definitely important to also note that we should not only focus on social media, because it might only be temporary and definitely just a micro trend. Whereas this new approach of a relationship between customers and sellers, that's fundamental.
To personalize it, right?
Exactly.
And now some last words from Mr. Fleischmann to all of the young marketing students out there.
Stop selling, start responsible influencing, so give them good signals with the right information, and people will appreciate that by following your lead into your business or retail outlet or whatever.